Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for watching our special video titled The Performance Graph, Money Making Secrets. My name is Stan Heller, consultant for VectorVest Canada, and today we're going to take a look at the performance graph, which I think is one of the most underrated of our many excellent VectorVest tools for making money in stocks. With that, I'm going to take you right into the presentation. Our risk disclaimer here. You can read the top part. Just know everything you will see in here today is for educational purposes only. With that, let's get into the program and have a look. We'll start with what we're going to cover today. So first of all, we're going to look at how to set up and save your performance graphs. From there, we're going to look at 3 ways to use the performance graph to make money in the markets. First of all, to confirm your purchase decisions, maybe you've analyzed 1 or 2 stocks and you're ready to purchase or even more, and you just want to have another look, see how that stock compares with other stocks in the same industry or different industries, how it has compared against the industries itself. Next, this is my favorite. We can use the performance graph to spot bullish and bearish ETF divergences. So we plot a long ETF and a short ETF on a performance graph, and when they start to diverge away from each other, that gives us a very clear indication that we can go long or short depending which one is pulling away. And then finally, we look for stocks that are outperforming their industry group, and the performance graph is ideally suited to do that for us. With that, let's go into the VectorVest program. I'm going to just start with Canada here. And just know that what I'm showing you is repeatable in whatever country you subscribe to, whether it's the United States, UK, Europe, VectorVest, Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore. The look and the feel of what I'm going to show you, the navigation, is all the same. So first of all, we're going to go to our Viewers tab, on the Viewers tab. And from there, we can open a stock viewer and look at a stock and get to the performance graph that way. Right-click, for example, on Teranga Gold. Click on the stock graph and open it up. Notice stock opens up, and here I click on performance graph, and it immediately takes me to a graph of TGZ compared to the mining, gold, silver industry group that it is a part of. And you can see that TGZ strongly outperformed the mining, gold, silver over the last year, which is my default setting. If I wanted to look at the most current 3 months, for example, now I see that they really started to break out in June, around June 22nd, and TGZ really started to break away from other stocks in the industry group at around July 7th. So I see that nice breakout pattern with both the industry and this particular stock, and I might want to see if there are other stocks that I'm interested in that might have done just as well. Kirkland, Ross, and it does look like Kirkland has done well also, and Kinross, but not as well as the overall industry, so there might have been some better choices. That's a way very quickly to get to the performance graph, and also from the point of view of your industry group. And another way to get there, if I just close that up and add new, I can click on the performance graph drop down menu beside stock, click on performance graph, and you'll notice it immediately loads the VectorVest composite, which is the arithmetic average price of all 2,400 stocks that we track in VectorVest. And then it's valuable to look at the other indices on the same performance graph. For example, the TSX Composite and the Canadian Venture. Notice I just type in the symbol, comma, separating them, and I can click that, and it loads them in the submenu. And from here, I can see, well, my colors are a little bit similar. So I'm just going to right-click on CDNX, change the style, loads it up over on my other screen. I'm going to change the color. I'll make it a dark blue, and I'll increase the thickness of the line. So the Canadian Venture really stands out now, and you can see while it was much flat for most of 2000, well, the end of 2019, and then we had this big decline, COVID crisis. But from there, just like a slingshot, has just rocketed up from the bottom. So those stocks in the Venture Exchange, either the Venture itself or the Venture 50, which we have a watch list for in VectorVest, a lot of marijuana stocks, some of the junior miners, lower cost energy stocks, those stocks have been really breaking out from this market bottom, more so than composite and the overall VectorVest composite. Notice on the right that price change is given in a percent. So the Venture is up more than 20% over the last year. And you can see the other exchanges are pretty flat, but maybe around 5%. I go to 3 months, and you can see the Venture is up over 50%, and the VectorVest Composite, green, and the TSX, if I hover my mouse over them, see the TSX Composite up 11% just over the last 3 months. So it's certainly been a good time to be in the market, especially perhaps in some of those venture stocks that are rocketing to the upside. All right, so that's a couple of ways that we can use performance graph to track a stock and stocks within its industry group, how they compare against the indices, and we can put indices on the graph as well. Now from there, I'll close out of that, and again, we have a watch list for TSX Composite, energy stocks, all the capped indices, global gold, but I'm just going to focus on the TSX 60. These are benchmark stocks indicating some of the best, highest market cap stocks in Canada. You can see a lot of familiar names here: American Eagle, Kirkland, Barrick, Shopify, and others. So we can go from here to the performance graph, and maybe we've decided that it's time to buy. Market's moving up, the future up, and we've got 5 or 6 stocks on our list that we want to buy, and performance graph to narrow down our choices, give us an edge to make the right decision. So if I highlight Shopify, for example, and right click on it, I'll first open the stock graph, and then from there I'll go to the performance graph, and as before, it shows us Shopify on the graph, and then the industry group, Internet e-commerce. It's a 1-year end of day graph, which is my default setting. Again, I could change the colors and the thickness of the lines, but we'll use this for now, and we'll just look at some of the other stocks that I like to follow in the TSX 60, and maybe we're getting ready to make some purchases. So we're looking at KL, looking at CSU, it's been a strong performer, AT.B, CP, National Bank, and again, I'm just typing in the commas. Notice when I start typing the name, it shows up in the bottom, or the symbol, it shows up in the bottom. And I'll type in National Bank. OTEX for utilities, I might look at AQN. And for real estate management, I might look at favorite in Canada, BM.A. Click on the Enter button, and they show up in the submenu. And I'll just take off the Internet e-commerce, but I can look at KL, ESU, ATD.B, CP, checking the boxes to bring them onto the graph. And there's a lot of consolidation down here at the bottom over the last year, all just kind of positive, but just barely outside of our top stock here at the top, which if I can get it going there, is Shopify. Big surprise, it's the best performer over the last year, but it does kind of skew performance. So I'm going to look at just the 1 year graph of the other stocks, and they're all making money, but there's a couple down here, National Bank and BAM, that are just barely above water here for the year. Might want to rethink those. Let's look at them on a 3-month basis. And on a 3-month basis, actually, National Bank moved up quite nicely. So really it's AQN and BAM that I might want to wait to make that purchase. So I'll just uncheck those stocks. Now I've got a pretty good list there. 1 year, they're all positive, and over 5 years, I can have a look. Voting up, and so over 5 years, and again, there's Shopify, so I've got Shopify, I've got Kirkland, have been best performers over 5 years, and the others have been fairly steady. National Bank up just 40% over the 5 years, so about 10%, just less than 10% a year. And ATD.B, all very good, and dividend payers here as well. So very easy to confirm the stocks that I might like to buy, which is a pretty good use of the performance graph on its own. And we've looked again at the performance graph and how we can use performance graph to compare the stocks that we might want to buy with the industries, and we're looking for stocks that are outperforming that industry. I could add more industries here. For example, we know that building wood products has been a strong performer. It's at the top or near the top of the industry group list in VectorVest, so I could add building wood products, and you can see it's really starting to move up on a 3-month basis. Change it to 3 months, and it's really strongly moving up. So that might be there might be a stock in that group that we would be interested in adding to our list. And for example, I know that West Fraser has been going gangbusters, and with the demand on residential housing and lumber in general, with low interest rates, and there's West Fraser, that might be a stock that you want to consider as well. So a great way to find out the best performers over short term and long term, compare with other stocks, compare with other stocks in the industry, compare with stocks against the indices as well. And then the last way that I really enjoy and it's a lot to make money is the divergences with the bullish and bearish ETF pairs. And I've got, for example, HZU, the silver, has been in the news. Brian D'Amico did a strategy of the week on silver overtaking gold. That was a couple of weeks ago on a Friday. So let's just load up one of the graph layouts that I have saved here. And it's silver HZU, 2 times leverage to the upside, HZUD times leverage to the downside. And you can see that the divergence on a 3-month graph took place at about July 8th, started to break away, the upside started to break away from the downside, and you could have gone in there, and you can see over here at the right, HZU is up 130% from that point. Meanwhile, HZD is down 62% from that point. Not quite as sharply down to the downside. That gives you a good idea, and if you wanted to wait until there's even a stronger divergence, that happened at around 7:21. I can change my graph layout, time frame, and just move it to 7:21. And from that divergence over to the upside is up over 60%. Well, it's actually 75%, downside down percent. So really strong way to use bullish and bearish ETF pairs, and just on a weekend, come in and see if one is breaking away from the other, and see if there's good opportunity to jump into whichever one is moving up the fastest. In this case, HZU is moving up the fastest. You can see I've got petroleum, HOD, HOU. I think I've gold in here, gold and oil ETF pairs. So you can combine them however you like to display them. I can bring in gold, for example, and you see the divergences. HGU, gold, 2 times gold, really moving up strongly there. If I like this layout, I just come to the Graph Layouts tab. Once I've got my colors and my lines thickness all set up, I come to the Graph Layouts, click on it, and I can save and modify, add new layout, and just give it a name. Oops, and click OK, and it'll save that layout. Obviously, you would give it a meaningful name, not just to test, but that's how it would work. And then every time you want to come back to that layout, just double click on it and it'll open it up for you, and everything will save for you. So we've covered quite a lot of ground today. How to set up and save performance graphs. Ways to use the performance graph to make money with VectorVest. It really gives you that edge to determine which stocks are outperforming other stocks and outperforming industry group or the indice. You can use it to confirm your purchase decisions, spot bullish and bearish ETF divergences, and find stocks that are outperforming their industry group. So with that, I want to thank you again for joining. If you are using performance graphs, or you might like to use them in the future, just type Y in the chat box. I would appreciate that. Just let me know. And also, if you have particular ETF pairs or a different way that you use the performance graph, if you could chat that in before we go, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you're new to VectorVest and you like what you see with our VectorVest program, take control of your investments and try VectorVest for 30 days. It's just $9.95 US dollars, 30 days. And at the end of 30 days, decide whether or not you want to continue. Just call our support team to set up your trial and let us know if you do want to cancel at the end of your 30 days. 1-888-658-7638 is the number. So that's the end of our presentation. If you like the content and would like to see more videos like this, please do hit the like button to let us know. And if you subscribe to our channel, that's greatly appreciated. You'll get alerts to upcoming videos, and we always appreciate that as well. And to contact me directly at stan.heller@vectorvest.ca. Thanks, everyone. Wish you all the best.